What's going on, everyone? You are listening to Locked On Now NHL, local experts on the biggest stories around the ice. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and thanks so much for making Locked On Now your first listen every weekday. Our Locked On NHL hosts are here to help break down everything on Locked On Now. Let's start with Wednesday's biggest game.
The biggest game.
The Toronto Maple Leafs went into Philadelphia and shut out a Flyers team on a hot streak. A spread out scoring attack helped Toronto separate throughout in a 3-0 win, and Locked On Maple Leafs is all smiles after the big W.
Soupy continues to dominate at the Leafs, roll into Philly, and shut them out. Hey guys, I'm Mike DeStefano here from Locked On Leafs. Toronto rolling into Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, and blanking the Philadelphia Flyers by a score of 3-0. Jack Campbell was outstanding. He made 36 saves on the night. William Nylander, a couple of goals in this one, and Andre Kasha finally breaking that goalless drought. The Leafs had 16 straight goals scored by one of Marner, Tavares, Matthews, or Nylander. Kasha finally breaking that streak in the third period with a goal of his own. Gonna give a shout out to Nick Ritchie, who actually had a pretty good game. Led the team with 7 shots on goal as well. I'm going to go far more into this game over at Locked On Leafs, so go check it out. Maple Leafs with a big-time 3-0 win in Philadelphia.
Toronto was able to shut down the Philadelphia offense in this game, and Locked On Flyers has an in depth look at how that happened with numbers to back it up.
Well, it was a frustrating night for the Flyers, getting shut out by the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-0. This is Rachel Donner from the Locked On Flyers podcast, and despite a pretty solid night in net with several great saves for Carter Hart, the Flyers just did not have enough going offensively. First off, the Leafs were able to prevent the Flyers from getting high-quality shots at 5-on-5 and preventing rebound opportunities, even when Jack Campbell didn't cover the puck. Flyers had 31 shots on goal at 5-on-5, but only 4 were high danger all game. Secondly, the Flyers' power play failed to capitalize on the 4 opportunities they had over the course of the game. They tried adjusting the personnel later in the game, but that still just wasn't doing it for them. They really did not look like they were getting close and only had 1 legitimate scoring chance in total for the man advantage all game. For more on this game and the Flyers all season long, tune into the Locked On Flyers podcast.
Working through a rocky start to the season, the Dallas Stars needed something out of a division game at home against Nashville, but couldn't get it, as the Predators came into Dallas and left with a 4-2 win. But Locked On Stars says Dallas beat itself just as much as the Predators did last night.
Another day, another disappointment. What's up, guys? Dane here with Locked On Stars, coming to you from outside the American Airlines Center. And if you can't tell from the lightning behind me or the rain on my jacket, it is pouring rain here in Texas. But unfortunately, the goals were not pouring on from the Stars tonight. Too many sloppy mistakes, too many blown opportunities with the puck in the offensive zone. Leads to Dallas not, scoring enough goals, despite Rupe Hintz finally getting on the scoreboard. Despite Miro Heiskanen's best efforts, Dallas falls just short against Nashville here at home. A crucial must-win game for the Stars against a divisional opponent where, 2 points on the line, and they really needed those 2 points, and they failed to get them just because of too many mistakes, not really helping their goalie out, too many sloppy turnovers, too many blown opportunities with the puck. Lots to talk about on tomorrow's pod.
The Arizona Coyotes have had a tough season, and heading into their matchup against the Minnesota Wild yesterday, they only had 1 win under their belt. Here is Locked On Wild with the recap of the game.
The Minnesota Wild continue their recent dominance against the Arizona Coyotes. Hey everybody, Seth Topol, host of Locked On Wild, your daily Minnesota Wild podcast, recapping the Wild's 5-2 win over the Arizona Coyotes tonight to improve to 9-3 on the season. No trap game tonight with Kaapo Kähkönen in net. The Wild got goals from Joel Eriksson, Kevin Fiala, Kirill Kaprizov, Dmitry Kulikov, and Marcus Foligno en route to the 5-2 win, in which they pretty much took care of business the entire 60 minutes. Now, Kaapo Kähkönen gets the win, gave up just 2 goals. The Wild get a couple of power play goals. They dominate in terms of zone time possession and get themselves into their best start of the season since the 2005-2006 season. Now, recent numbers against the Arizona Coyotes. It has been all Minnesota Wild. Check this out. The Minnesota Wild are 24-5-3 in their last 32 games versus Arizona and 13-3-1 in their last 17 games in Arizona. So you can call the Wild the desert dwellers after their win here tonight. Next up comes the Vegas Golden Knights. So the Wild should be pretty well fresh for the second game of their back-to-back. For more on the Minnesota Wild, make sure you are following along with Locked On Wild wherever you listen to podcasts.
That's a wrap for us. Thanks so much for making Locked On Now your first listen every weekday. For more on the National Hockey League and your favorite team, make your second listen Locked On NHL and your Locked On podcast. I'm Kim Becker. This has been Locked On Now, Locked On Your Team Every Day.